You think making more money is the only way to escape the system. But the truth is the system was never built to reward you for working harder. You wake up every morning chasing a number. 6 figures, stability, security. You tell yourself, once I hit $100K, I'll finally breathe. And maybe you do get there, but nothing changes. You're still watching your bank account carefully, still calculating expenses, still feeling like you're one mistake away from falling behind. Because deep down, something doesn't add up. You're earning more, but somehow it never feels like enough. You look at your paycheck, and a chunk is gone before it even touches your hands. Taxes, fees, deductions, invisible leaks, draining your effort, and you accept it, because that's what everyone does. You believe this is just how life works. Work more, earn more, keep less, repeat. But here's what no one tells you. The problem isn't how much you earn. It's how the system defines your income. Because not all $100,000 is the same. Two people can live on the exact same income and experience completely different realities. One struggles, one doesn't. Not because one is smarter, not because one works harder, but because one is playing a different game, and you've never been taught the rules. When you're working, every dollar you earn is exposed. It's visible, it's taxable, it's attacked from every angle. The system sees your income clearly and takes its share immediately. But when you step out of that system, something strange happens. Your income doesn't disappear. It transforms. Suddenly, not all of it counts. Suddenly, not all of it is taxed. Suddenly, the same amount of money feels like more. This is where people get it wrong. You think income equals income. You think $100K is always $100K. You think the goal is to earn as much as possible. But the reality is, the system doesn't reward effort. It rewards structure. It rewards positioning. And right now, you're positioned to lose. If this hits, comment 1 below, because this is where the illusion starts to crack. You've been told your entire life to chase growth, promotions, raises, more hours, more output. But no one told you that the system taxes activity, not intelligence. The more active you are inside the system, the more visible you become. And the more visible you are, the more you pay. That's why working harder often feels like running faster on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not escaping, because the system isn't designed to free you. It's designed to extract from you. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The moment you stop playing by its default rules, the math changes completely. Not slightly, completely. This is the part that most people never see, because they're too busy surviving inside the system to question it. They assume the struggle is normal. They assume the pressure is necessary. They assume the stress is the price of success. But what if it's not? What if you've been optimizing for the wrong variable this entire time? What if the real game isn't about earning more, but about being taxed less? That shift alone changes everything, because now you're not chasing money. You're controlling how money flows. And that's a completely different level of power. Most people never reach it, not because they can't, but because they never realize it exists. They stay focused on the visible layer: salary, bonuses, promotions. They ignore the invisible layer: tax structure, income classification, system design. And that's where the real leverage lives. This is where the awakening happens. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. The system is not neutral. It favors certain behaviors. It rewards certain positions, and it quietly punishes others. Working is one of those punished positions, not because it's wrong, but because it's exposed. You trade time for money, and the system takes a cut from every second. There's no shield, no buffer, no protection, just pure visibility. And visibility is expensive. Now here's where it gets deeper. The system doesn't just take your money, it shapes your thinking. It trains you to believe more income equals more security. But that's not true. Because if your income is inefficient, more of it just means more leakage. More effort, same result. This is why so many high earners still feel stuck. They did everything right. They followed the path. They climbed the ladder, but they're still trapped in the same loop because no one told them the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. And here's the part that hits hardest. You've probably been planning your future based on this flawed model. You've been calculating how much you need based on how much you earn now, but that assumption is broken. Because your future income won't be treated the same way. And that changes everything. Imagine this. You're not trying to replace your current income. You're trying to replace your current lifestyle. Those are not the same thing. Your lifestyle depends on what you keep, not what you earn. That's the gap most people never close. They overestimate what they need. They underestimate how the system shifts. And because of that, they stay longer than they have to. They work extra years. They delay freedom. They sacrifice time for a number that was never accurate to begin with. This is where things become painful. Because once you realize this, you start to see the cost of not knowing. Years of your life traded unnecessarily. Energy spent chasing the wrong target. Stress created by a misunderstanding. And the worst part, it wasn't random. It was structural. The system didn't lie to you. It just didn't explain itself. Because explaining it would reduce compliance. And compliance is what keeps everything running. Here's the system. Truth. No one says out loud, the financial world benefits from your confusion. The more uncertain you feel, the more you save. The more you save, the more they manage. The more they manage, the more they earn. Fear is profitable. Clarity is not. That's why this information isn't front and center. Not hidden. Just not emphasized. Because if you understood how the system actually works, you'd make different decisions. You'd question the timelines. You'd rethink the targets. You'd realize that freedom isn't as far away as you thought. And that realization breaks the model. But here's the danger. Knowing this doesn't automatically change your life. Because awareness without action just becomes another form of frustration. You see the system, but you stay in the same place. You understand the game, but you don't play differently. And that's where most people stop. They wake up, but they don't move. Don't let that be you. Because the solution isn't complicated. It's just uncomfortable. You need to stop thinking in gross numbers. Start thinking in net reality. You need to stop chasing income. Start optimizing structure. You need to stop asking, how can I earn more? And start asking, how can I keep more? That one shift changes your trajectory. It forces you to think differently, to plan differently, to move differently, and over time, to live differently. Because once you understand the system, you stop fighting it. You start using it. You stop being a participant. You become a strategist. And that's where real freedom begins. Not in the amount you make, but in the control you have. Control over how your income is seen, how it is counted, how it is taxed. That's the hidden layer. And once you operate there, everything feels lighter because you're no longer pushing against the system. You're moving with it. And that's when time starts coming back to you. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly, until one day you realize you don't need as much as you thought. And that changes the game completely because now freedom is not a distant goal. It's a closer reality. And the only thing that was separating you from it was understanding. You came in thinking more effort was the answer. Now you see, it was never about effort. It was about alignment. If this changed how you think, consider subscribing.